Hello, we are Team Zoomage Daydream, and we're going to present you our app, Space. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Marian Ailey. I have graduated the University of Sports. I have worked in different industries such as banking, hospitality, healthcare, gained experience in being a team player, work well under pressure, and I'm always eager to learn new things.
Hi, I'm Rob. I studied at music college up to master's level and subsequently worked as a musician and teacher before moving into higher education, where I worked for several years before deciding I wanted a career that was more challenging, more dynamic, which is why tech seemed the perfect choice, not to mention the many parallels with music.
Hi, my name is Julia Stepanova. I live in London, but ready to commute to the nearest areas outside London. I came to software development from accountancy.
Hi, my name is Fatima. I studied combined social science at university. I previously worked in primary education, and I'm super excited to be on this new journey in the tech industry.
Hi, my name is Ayomide, and I studied biomedical sciences at university. I was introduced to the applications of technology in healthcare, which really was the catalyst for my ever-growing interest in the field.
I am Kazim, a full-stack developer specializing in both front-end and back-end development. I have a master's in mechanical engineering, and this was when I fell in love with programming. I will just take you through our problem statement. In recent times, there has been a huge change in how we work, and this has made remote working really popular. Even though remote working has become popular, a lot of people still struggle to work remotely. In most cases, this is because their homes are not well equipped for remote working. We as a team have decided to bridge this gap and make it possible for everyone to work from home, regardless of your situation or condition. I will just pass it over to Rob to take you through the mission statement.
So these are the salient points from our mission statement. You can read the entire thing on our site. Basically, we wanted to create an app that would bring together members of the community by enabling them to utilize any extra space in their home, which isn't in use for significant amounts of time, by offering it out to other users. This is predominantly with remote working in mind. However, there were additional ways in which this could be used, such as a music practice room or a home gym. Some additional benefits to this app would be enabling users to find their most convenient or local option, thereby reducing both travel costs and their carbon footprint, and also potentially providing older people who are more likely to be lonely or isolated with the opportunity to welcome some company into their residence.
I would like to now take you through our app as a user who's hiring out a space. You will first need to sign up. Here we have used Auth0 for signing up. You can put in your email address, put in a password, and then click on the sign up button. Once you have signed up, it will take you to the register with us page, where you need to put in your first name, your last name, your email address, and your date of birth, as well as a username, and press submit. Once you've pressed submit, you'll be taken back to the home page where you can search for a property. Here I will write the location London, as that's where I live. I'll want to book a place for every Wednesday of next month, between the hours of 10 and 2. The space I'm looking for is for remote working. I press submit on the search form, which will take me to the results page. I can now filter the results page from low to high, depending on the pricing. Here I can pick the office space that I would like to work in. I can view some pictures of the property. I can see the property details on this page and the amenities. I can fill out a reserve your space form, where I book in the dates that I want again and the timings, so 10 to 2. I can then reserve the space. After I reserve the space, this email is an example of an email that will be sent from the server to our host, letting them know that this person is interested in booking their space from these dates at this time.
So now I'm going to talk through the user journey as a host on Space. So as you can see, we're already logged in as a normal user, but I want to list a space to become a host. So first, we're going to take a look at the dashboard. There's a few different options on here. So as you can see, there's settings and the messaging, which we didn't have time to add in our MVP, but would be things we would add with more time. The listings page, where you can see your listings, don't have any at the moment, but I will have one shortly. and a history and current bookings, which at the moment I don't have either. And this is just the standard profile page. So I'm going to go to list your space. I'm going to add in my address details, 54 Swindon Road, Birmingham, UK, and postcode. I'm going to choose the type of space, which is a house. Purpose of space, I'm going to say it's a music practice room, and it's a private room. So the amenities I have are Wi-Fi, I've got a microwave and a fridge, and I'm going to say that this is available for every Wednesday of next month from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And I'm going to say £30 an hour, which I think is very reasonable. So in terms of additional information, I'm going to say got a baby grand piano and professional recording, which sadly is not true. And I'm just going to add a couple of photos of my palatial abode. So this is the outside, and this is a photo of my piano. So now I'm going to click submit. This will send a post request to the back end. All of this information will be added to our database. And then momentarily, this will show up on the dashboard under listings, and also there it is. And also, if you were to search for it on the main page now, this would come up as well.
After brainstorming, when we have decided on our idea of the app and voted using the Miro board, the next step was to research and carry out user interviews. We have asked our friends and have visited some of the Zoom rooms in our bootcamp to interview people on the following questions. Would you like to have the ability to hire or rent out a space on an hourly basis? If yes, what kind of space and which facilities would you like to see in options? Can you see any potential problems in this app? One of the bootcampers said, it's something as a WeWork company. With this kind of facilities, the main problem is a time frame, which is usually from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you guys can solve this problem in your app, it would be great. Further feedback we received was from someone who has built a high-quality gym in his garage. He said that he would love to use the app to hire out his garage. Another bootcamper suggested that we should add an option with the extra charge for the cleaning service after the facilities have been used. On the other slide, you can see some other nice reviews on our idea from our peers.
During the planning stage, a Miro board was used for the ideation phase of development. We then settled on a final idea using 3-2-1 voting. From the onset, we anticipated the technical complexity of our app, so it was crucial to visualize the app through a full user flow diagram, which can be seen here. To make clearer our vision for the user journey, we also created our database structures at this stage using DB schema to understand what we wanted to communicate between the front end and the back end and how that would look for the user. To kick off the design process, we created both low and high fidelity wireframes. We initially decided to focus on a laptop screen display as it felt more familiar, and following user research, we found the app is most likely to be used on a laptop. However, we have now made the app responsive for a range of screen sizes. We opted for a color scheme with a high contrast to focus the attention on the purpose of finding a space and not getting lost in over-design. Furthermore, the color symbolism for blue is calm and trust, and that's what we're trying to convey through the user journey.
We adopted the Agile methodology throughout our project. We had a daily schedule starting with a stand-up and ending with a retrospective. We broke our project into several phases and used Trello to organize and document our tickets. We frequently reviewed our project and took on feedback from stakeholders and continuously made improvements at every stage. We cycled through a process of planning, executing, and evaluating. Our sprints were daily on most days, however, some were 2 to 3 days long. As a team, we made a manifesto to detail best team working practices. For example, if there was an equal split on a decision, we would use a spinner as a tiebreaker. We also made sure a new person led the stand-up and retrospective every day. We deployed our app early, so every change we made updated our sites and therefore continuously deployed.
We created some user stories to articulate how our app delivers value to the user. So Mary is a business analyst with a small flat She wants to rent out a room to do her remote work in a more comfortable and appropriate environment.
Lisa is another user persona. She works as a self-employed photographer. She would like to hire new spaces for her photo sessions.
And finally, this is our user persona, Rob, who's actually loosely based on one member of the team, although I won't reveal who. So Rob is a musician and wants to rent out the practice room in his house as he isn't using it for most of the day and it has good equipment. And so space provides the ideal solution.
So I'll take you through our tech stack. We as a team decided to make use of the Pen stack, which simply means we made use of Postgres, Express, React, and Node.js. On the front end, we made use of React.js to build our app simply because React makes it easy and fast to build apps in a team by breaking it down into different components and building this component in pairs. Hereby, this helped improve our pair programming skills as well. On the back end, we made use of Node.js as our programming language, simply because we all had a strong knowledge of JavaScript, and we didn't have to learn a new language entirely since Node.js is built on JavaScript. Our database was a Postgres database, and we also made use of pgadmin and TablePlus. On the back end as well, we made use of Cloudinary to upload our images to the cloud. Lastly, I'll take you through our testing. We followed the test-driven development because we wanted to ensure all our components were working as expected. On the front end, we made use of Jest for our unit testing, and for our end-to-end testing, we made use of Cypress. On the back end as well, we made use of Supertest to test our API routes and ensure it was returning the correct payload when a request was made.
We have achieved many great things in the making of our app, and we wanted to share with you just a few screenshots of some of the milestones we overcome by us in this beautiful journey. We had our backend deployed on Heroku, a platform that we chose as a team because we've all worked with it before and we wanted to solidify our knowledge in deploying the backend. We've managed to deploy our front end on Netlify within the first 2 weeks of coding, and it was a great feeling seeing our app coming to life. We've used Jest to do the testing on the backend, and we've implemented Cypress for the end-to-end testing. Seeing the tests milestone achieved gave us a lot of confidence, but reaching our MVP was the cherry on the cake. You can see here a screenshot of our deployed MVP.
As a team, we made it a point to reflect on not only the progress of our app, but our personal feelings and well-being. After a retro, it was brought up that we often spoke over each other and not everybody was being heard. Following this, we made it a point to let everybody finish their sentence, and we have rectified this issue. We were initially unsure how to upload images from the host property details form to the database for later viewing by the user. After some research, we found Cloudinary, a media management service that resolved this. Another issue we faced was managing our Git branches and the subsequent merges. The majority of our blockers were issues with merging from untracked file names, changes, to tricky NPM packages. Our manifesto and genuine respect for each other enabled us to work through a series of challenges and deliver a high-quality app that we are all very proud of.
Look into the future. We estimated given another 6 days to work on the project, we would add a payment platform feature such as PayPal. Given another 2 weeks, we would be able to add a service to find an address from just a postcode, removing the need to manually add the address and thereby enhancing user experience. Given another month, we would add in a messaging service. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed our presentation.